Greetings in the name of our King. I'm grateful to be here with you all once again so that we can study the word of our King and to do as our Messiah had said that we should reach out to the lost sheep of the house of Israel, to go into the world and teach. And we all know, Mishpachah, that the house of Israel is scattered among these nations, searching for a place to lay our weary heads. And one day our King is going to make that happen. But for right now, as you all know, we have to navigate through all of the mess that this world has in their control. We know that the times are short. We can see all the signs happening. And Mishpachah, I tell you this much. We have to keep our bootstraps, our shoelaces, everything that we got tied down, tightened up, and got to make sure that our I's are dotted and our T's are crossed properly, because we live in some serious times, some very serious times. So I greet you all in the name of our King. And for tonight's lesson, we got a class that I kind of did before under different headline, Generation Z. But the class, for some reason, usually when we have a certain topic that Satan doesn't want to get out, there's a little bit of jiggling in the wires and stuff. So part of the class that didn't get recorded. So I did some updates, and we're going to do a refresher on this. But this is very important because we find ourselves in a time when our youth is our greatest concern, because many of us who are, I would say, above 35 or so, pretty much set in our ways, but we have some little ones that's coming up behind the scenes, and we're very concerned about their well-being and their future. So tonight we're going to look at some things that Satan has set up to keep our people, or the world, but mainly our people, in a sense of hypnotic state. And we ought to learn what's going on and to break the cycles. But before we do that, let's have a word of prayer. And then I'm going to share with you a little bit of news report, and then we'll get into our class, okay? So let's have a word of prayer. Blessed are you, Yahuwah, our Elohim, King of the universe. Father, we give all praise and glory unto your name. We thank you for your love and your mercy, which truly endures forever. We ask, Abba, that you will bless tonight's forum, that your word will go out to the four corners of this earth to reach the house of Israel, that you will teach us how we should live in this wicked and this unrepentant world. I pray, Father, that you will gather the tribes of Israel together, all 12 tribes, and bring us back to you from this place of captivity, that we will have our final rest. Be with us and keep us. May your name be praised forever as we glorify you. In Yeshua's name we pray. Amen. Hallelujah. All right, Fox in the Wire, demonic control. Well, before we go into that, let's share some news out there. Some time ago, Brother Jay had sent me this picture of something he had caught his eye in the marketplace. I guess it's at a place called M&S Food or something, I'm not sure. But you know, I always play, have a little fun with the words, the LGBT peoples and stuff. And it looks like there's a sandwich. There's a sandwich put out there for them. Lettuce, guacamole, bacon, and tomato. Now, I didn't even know about this, but the brother saw it, and he decided to send me a snapshot, a picture of it. And so I want to share that with you all. So as you can see, family, there is a LGBT sandwich that is out there. And thank the Most High, that's not something for Israel to touch. As long as you got all those mixtures in there, it's not something that Israel should touch at all. As a matter of fact, we should be making our own sandwiches. So I thought that was pretty interesting. You know, every time we every time we talk about our situation, talking about Israelites being in this captivity and the 400 years or so of being slaves, the people are always saying that we need to forget about it. Isn't that true, Mishpachah? They're always talking about, well, you guys just need to forget about that stuff. That's a long time ago. I don't know why you all are still on that thing about slavery, 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 and whatnot. Just forgive and love and whatnot. Well, the Jewish people, they don't forget whatsoever. As you can see in the Guardian, the UK Guardian, former Nazi camp guard to go on trial in Hamburg. The guy is 93 years old. Now, he was accused of murdering 5,230 people. That's what they're saying. And, for the people who are always telling us that we need to forgive and forget, or forget and love or whatever, they're not letting this thing go at all. See, they will hunt these people down. Even if they're crippled, they're senile, it doesn't matter. They'll bring those people back to justice. But as far as our people are concerned, we need to forget about it. We need to just let things go and just forget about it. So what do y'all think about that, Mishpachah? Do you think we should just forget about it? Just forget about it. Just leave things as it is. Well, also in the news, and I want to thank you all, those of you who have been sending me reports and stuff. Thank you so much. So in the news, baby food testing, 95% of foods in the U.S., baby foods in the U.S. have toxic metals in them. Can you imagine that? I'm not surprised. Are you surprised? Sarah? Not surprised whatsoever, huh? We're not surprised, Mishpachah. This is why we always try to teach our people that we need to return back to the ways of our forefathers and to try our best to raise up our little ones. The Most High set an order of things, whereas the husband provides for the family according to the strength that the Most High has given him. And if you have little ones, the wife is to take care of the little ones and make sure that the health of the family is taken care of. But we live in a time right now where everybody's working and the bills are so high that you got to put even the children to work. They got to get a part-time job, pay a bill. Everybody has to work. And because everybody's working, you got to send your little ones to a daycare, to a babysitter or something. And when you do that, Mishpachah, you're not able to really prepare the meals the way it should be. And someone else feeds your children. So therefore, of course, you're going to have all kinds of problems and whatnot, because the people are not doing this for the sake of health. They're doing it for the sake of money. They don't care what's in the food. As long as they can put something in a jar and serve it up, it's fine and dandy. So this is what's in the news. Imagine that 95% of foods in the U.S. have toxic metals. This is for the baby foods. I'm not surprised, as I said, and it's a shame. It's a shame. It's amazing that these people are talking about how wise they are. The technology is going to change things for the better. Every time we move away from the organic, going out in the garden, getting your potatoes, steaming it, smashing it, a little bit of butter, a little bit of salt, give it to your baby. The simple way of living, the carrots, you pull it straight from the soil. They say, no, we can handle that. You focus on your career. You women need to go out, get a career, do this, do that. You men, you too hard, whatever. Just change that. That's old-fashioned stuff. Let's change things up. Let's make it equal for everyone. Well, this is the result of it from the smart, the wise minds, the intelligent peoples. This is the result of it, Mishpachah, and this is a shame. Also in the news, doctor concerned about secret human experiments fueling advancements in brain chip technology. It's talking about how the so-called first world powers, the US, the UK, France, you name it, all these countries are outsourcing their technologies to experiment in the human bodies in different countries that are so-called third world countries. Latin America, you know, the Caribbean, you name it, Africa, different places that the laws are different. You know, just throw a little bit of money behind the government and they will do anything for a few pennies. And that's what's happening. It says Peru has been described as a paradise of human experimentation and is riddled with corruption. See that, Mishpachah? We are, as they say here in this article, in a post-human era. It's like we're not even human anymore. This is why I'm so concerned about our little ones that are coming up. Because the people are thinking about fusing. We already see the food has been changed. We know the technology has been developed that most commercials nowadays with the cars are showing that the cars have all this smart technology in it. It can self-drive, it can stop. If you encounter an accident, it's going to happen, it stops, it moves out the way. They're showing you that drones and you name it is taking control. The movies are showing us a lot of stuff. What's going to happen? The Bible says in Ezekiel, if the watchmen don't warn the people, guess what's going to happen? He's going to be responsible. The people will perish, and also he will be responsible. My job is to, not just give us the scriptures, the Torah, but also to inform you all of the times and to put some sense into what you're learning in the Torah so that you can have proper application of what you are learning, to know the times that we live. Okay, and so this is what's happening. They're talking about changing society and what kind of a world when we become old and feeble. The Most High don't return while we're still young and strong, and we're old. What kind of a world are we going to be living in, Mishpachah, and our children? Just think about it. Okay, just think about it. Since we talked about our children being raised by others and we're not able to give the care that we supposed to, in the news, this is the Mercury News, the voice from our Nest camera threatened to steal our baby. So this is a family that, had a babysitter taking care of the little one. And all of a sudden, the voice from the camera started to speak. Let's take a look at this article because this is pretty interesting. Okay, this is why I'm telling you, just if you got those Google cameras or whatever in your house, I think you need to put that in the trash. Okay, because these things are connected to Facebook peoples, Google peoples. They can listen, they can see, they can interact. When you're not there, they can talk to your children, they can guide your children, they can do whatever. Listen to this. It was an unremarkable Wednesday afternoon when our nanny texted my wife and me asking if we were speaking through one of the Nest cameras in our house. Make this just a little bit bigger. In our house. We both replied that we were not. Then the nanny texted that a voice was coming through the kitchen camera and using bad words. I immediately pulled up the video feed and began reviewing. I heard a familiar chime, which means someone is about to talk through the camera. Then, to my horror, a female voice that I don't recognize starts talking to my 18-month-old son. He looks around the room and then at the ceiling, wondering who's there. It feels as though my heart is about to beat through my chest. The blood rushes to my face. I am completely helpless. The voice is laughing when it chimes in. She says, "We have a nice house," and encourages the nanny to respond. She does not. The voice even jokes that she hopes we don't change our password. I am sick to my stomach. After about 5 minutes of verbal, quote, joyriding, the voice starts to get agitated at the nanny's lack of response and then snaps in a very threatening voice, quote, "I am coming for the baby if you don't answer me." And then there's this bad word right here. My jaw drops. We unplug the cameras and change all the passwords. The nanny has taken our son to the park down the street in an effort to escape. However, the damage has been done. Still helpless, I started doing the only thing I can do, Googling. I typed, quote, "Nest plus camera plus hacked," quote, and end quote, and found out that this happens frequently. Parent after parent relayed stories similar to mine. Threatening to steal a baby is shockingly common, and some much worse, such as playing pornography over the microphone to a 3-year-old. Brothers and sisters, I'm not going to read the rest of it. Let me post this in the chat so you all can check it out yourself. But this is the world that we live. Whereas they can hack into the system while you're away, they can see when you leave the house, and they can instruct your children into wickedness. So now when you're asleep, because sometimes babies will wake up from their sleep and they'll just sit in the crib, lay in the crib and just look at the ceiling, talk to themselves, sing whatever, and you're fast asleep. The only time you know that they're awake is if you're awake and walking around, or if they start crying for something to eat. But within all that time, Mishpachah, whoever's on the other line, on the other side of that camera, can be an hour of indoctrination, of wickedness. They can be playing witchcraft, they can curses, you name it. They can be playing all kinds of wickedness over the line, Mishpachah. And that can poison the mind of your child. Now you don't, later on when you realize your child is acting a certain way and you're spanking your child, trying to correct your child, you don't know that that child has been under hypnotic spell. You don't even know your child is under an hypnotic spell, because the people understand the psychology. You can have someone who is trained in hypnosis that can play a certain amount of music or whatever types of sounds and instantly got control. Just like they hack into a computer, they can hack into the brain and control the brain. And now your child can be under control, Mishpachah. This is the world in which we live. And this is why I am so concerned about the future of our little ones, because everybody's saying how wonderful the technology is. It can do so much for you. You can do this and you can do that. And you don't even realize how dangerous this thing is. They have access to your medical records. They can hack into that. While you're walking around the room having a conversation, they can quietly record everything about you and have a diary on your life. And then later on, they can hack your bank account. They can do whatever they want to do. You are no longer in control, Mishpachah. This is the world that we live. And this is why we have to be vigilant in all that we do. We don't have time to be playing pot of cake and whatnot. This is some serious business. Very serious business, Mishpachah. The news is also saying that another reason to get off your phone, the blue light might make you age faster. The blue light on your phone. your smartphone, or your computer screen can make it harder to sleep and might even damage eyesight, at least in mice. You know, I feel so sad for those mice, those little creatures. The other day in the news, they reveal the amount of abuse that has happened to those animals. It says the dogs just crying. They were just bleeding out in those cages. Monkeys, you name it, a whole bunch of different animals were just crying out. And I'm just asking, if we are so wicked that the Most High would not hear us, I pray that the Most High at least listen to the voice of his little creatures who are helpless, who didn't even sin. That for even their sake, that he will come back and put an end to the wickedness on this earth. So the peoples have found that, and there's this blue light situation that is impacting hormones and everything else within our body. And I'm going to post that in the chat too. Let me see if I can do so, because every once in a while we got a problem. Okay, so you can check that out later on, and you can share that information with your loved ones, because sometimes, you know, when we talk about stuff, a lot of times people just brush it to the side. They don't realize how serious stuff is, and to them it's just you know, it's just a joke. It's just a joke. So sometimes you just gotta wait until certain news come out to verify something that you already know. You know, and then you can share it to your people. So again, brothers and sisters, we are looking at this demonic control that is happening through the wire. That the fox is in the hen house, and the hen house is supposed to be a safe place for the little chickens to grow up. You know, a place where the feathers can be at peace. But if the fox have access to the hen house, then we're in big trouble. And that's how it seems to be right now. Whereas everybody's trying to get their house wired up to Google, Facebook Live, you name it, and can just walk around the house and just speak, and automatically you can see Granny come on the screen. You got little monitors in your kitchen while you're cooking. You got monitors in your bedroom or your living room, throughout the hall. You don't even have pictures on your wall anymore. You have these automated photo screens that changes, got all your stuff loaded up from the cloud so that it'll just change, you know, and you can just talk to your mirror and see different things. I mean, it's changing so rapidly right now that if we haven't done so already, we need to start looking into a defense mechanism for the sake of the well-being of our little ones. And, you know, we have children who will grow up and also need a husband or a wife. And if the brains and the minds of those people are destroyed, what kind of family will you be building? If you don't have a kind of a security wall, a firewall to protect you, if that's demolished, Mishpachah, where do we get our protection from? So let's take a look. What will the children's future hold? I am so concerned, and I know that many of you all are also concerned too. So this was the class that we did before, Generation Z. And again, you know, the information, half of the information was lost. So here we go. So today's generation, Mishpachah, we see that we already passed the millennium generation. Now we're in Generation Z, and this generation is all high tech. It's all about the high tech. They're drinking, eating, rising up. The first thing that they see is their computers. Before they go to bed, it's the computers. They're always wired into that stuff. And this has become very addictive. If you train up a child in the way they should go, and the training that the child receives is technology, where do you think that child is going to go to? That child is going to be raised, fed on nothing but technology, Mishpachah. And this has also become the new drug. This is definitely the new drug because it's highly addictive. We don't realize how addictive this thing really is for our little ones. Very, very addictive, Mishpachah. And they don't see the harm that will come to them because in their minds they're thinking that this is good. They don't you see that we don't have a history, a record. The history is being made right now. 10 years from now, if the Most High doesn't come and set up his kingdom, 20 years, if that doesn't happen within 20 years, we will have a generation that we can look back to see the result, what has happened to our people. And I know that many of us are struggling with this issue because when this technology first came out, we thought this is a wonderful thing, how we can help our children to learn. We put them on the computer to learn the alphabet, to have access to better learning software and whatnot, not knowing that our children was going to be addicted to these things. Is there a satanic force in the devices that we use? We have always talked about this hierarchy of wickedness. The book of Ephesians 6 and 12, if my reader can read for me, lets us know that there's definitely powers and stuff that is doing wickedness in this earth. When Shaul wrote these things, he was actually prophesying about our time. And we can see that we are truly living in a time of wickedness. Ephesians 6 and 12.
For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places.
So the Bible is saying that we're not dealing with flesh and blood, Mishpachah. This is a spiritual wickedness. This is something much bigger than you and I. If we approach this thing from a physical aspect, we are always going to lose. We have to tackle this thing in the spiritual realm because we're fighting against the forces of darkness. And therefore, Mishpachah, we need to be vigilant on that side. Who's got the whole world in his hands? The book of Matthew chapter 4, verses 8, we have a very interesting reading that Yeshua had a statement that he said when he was 40 days and 40 nights in the wilderness. He brought this to our attention, which I am so grateful for, because this connects into what Shaul was talking about. Let's see what it says. Matthew chapter 4, we're going to read from verses 8 to 10.
Again, the devil taketh him up into an exceeding high mountain, and sheweth him all the kingdoms of the world and the glory of them.
So Satan brought Yeshua up into a very high mountain and showed him all the kingdoms of the world and the glory of them, all of these kingdoms. Verses 9.
And said unto him, all these things will I give thee if thou wilt fall down and worship me.
Now, how could he make such a statement like this? Is Satan saying that all of these kingdoms of the world is in his hands? Is that what he's saying? That he's the chief, the commander-in-chief over all of these nations and stuff? Absolutely. Verses 10.
Then saith Yeshua unto him, Get thee hence, Satan, for it is written, Thou shalt worship Yahuwah your Elohim, and him only shalt thou serve.
Only the Messiah, only the Most High, only the Most High, the Father, should be worshipped, right? You shall worship Yahuwah your Elohim, and him only shall you serve. So he was letting Satan know that I am not bowing to you. I'm not giving in to you. Satan was really trying his best to get control of our commander-in-chief. And we are able to get a little glimpse about who's really in control of these systems. Do you think that Bill Gates and all these people are really interested in the Messiah's kingdom, in doing righteousness? No, they're not. I mean, having $1 billion, what do you do with that? You can buy whatever you want. And after a while, it gets really stale. And all other things that we go after, it comes from things that we don't even regard in its raw form. Sneakers, the cloth. But you mean to tell me that when the pieces of cloth and the rubber is put together, glued together into a Jordans, that now we're gonna lust up after that thing? When we look at iron ore in the earth, it looks like pretty much any other rock. But when they pass it through the factories and they smelt it and they beat it and they shape it into frames and shapes like a car or whatnot and put some paint over it, now we lust after that thing. You think the Most High is looking at those things as something special? No, he's looking at that as his raw materials. That's all raw materials. So we get attracted to a bunch of mirages, a bunch of nonsense. This stuff means nothing, Mishpachah. We fight over clothing, we fight over this and that, we fight over monies, and all of these things mean nothing. It's just something to get us by. A car is just a means to transport you from point A to point B. But people have made so much out of it. Houses has become an idol. Clothing has become idolatry. Everything has become idolatry. The function of it has been lost. And now people have made so much into idolatry. Things that make you go, let's get Ecclesiastes 1 and verses 9. Things that make you go, So we're going to look at some things, Mishpachah, for you to think about. You know, when we first got into technology, we all thought about it as a wonderful thing. We never had the research to go in the background and to see what was behind the scenes. We didn't have the understanding to know who was behind what. We didn't have the background to understand why they put certain things out. We had no idea whatsoever. And so tonight we will uncover a few things. We'll peel some of that onion back. And if you're strong enough, your eyes wouldn't water. You'll keep your eyes open. I know some Hebrews, the eyes are not too strong. They start to water. They walk away. But we're going to try to unpeel this onion and hopefully reveal some things. So let's read Ecclesiastes chapter 1, verses 9.
The things that have been, it is that which shall be. And that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun.
Back in the day, we had the Tower of Babel. Man decided we're going to come together and defy the Most High. Build a tower that will reach up to the heavens. Men today have built space stations. They have built technologies to bring all the voices together around the world. It doesn't matter what language you speak, you can have it translated within seconds. You can look at each other around the world. People have even built devices that if you are separated from your loved one, from your wife, your spouse, you can have sex with her miles away using the internet. This is the way that the world has gone. It's a world of madness. And today we are seeing that Satan has pushed the thing so fast because he has but a short time. And we need to be a wise and truly understanding people to keep ourselves separated from the corruption and the madness that's in this world. So all we have to do is go back to the past and we can see what happened before the flood. We can see what happened just a little after the flood. We can see all the different examples that happened afterwards, and we can roll that up into one package, and that will be where we are today in these last days, Mishpachah. Okay, so let's take a look. It was interesting for me when I looked at some of the color patterns of these technology companies like Microsoft and Google. And I noticed that the colors are very similar to those who practice witchcraft and those who are Masons. To the far left, you see a pentagram. You got the black, the blue, the red, green, and also the yellow. Water, fire, earth, and air, and spirit, right? The black is usually a neutral color, so you could put that to the side. Basically, you got four colors. Black is always there. That's the dark side, but you got four things here. Then in Masonry, the Eastern Star, that's the next pentagram. It looks and shaped like a goat's head with the two horns over here, and the chin down below here. So this is the Eastern Star for the Masons, for the women who are in Mason, the lodge and whatnot. Now, when you go over to Microsoft, you find the same pattern. You got the green, you got the yellow, you got the blue, and you got the red. Microsoft is in black. When you look at Google, you have the same colors. Same colors, Mishpachah. Do y'all see that? Is it possible that these are some hidden messages? And if you look at the Gmail, that M, it is shaped like a Masonic apron. You can check it out, Mishpachah. All right, Demon Internet. Demon Internet. And the link is here. You can go to Wikipedia and read the whole thing. But I wanted us to go behind the scenes with the internet, web, the World Wide Web, and all that stuff, and kind of like, people, and look at what's going on behind what has been going on behind the scenes so we can make better decisions. So let's look at this article from Wikipedia, Demon Internet. Go ahead and read for me.
Demon Internet. Demon Internet is a British internet service provider currently operating as a brand of Vodafone.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of the UK's earliest ISPs, offering dial-up internet access services from June 1st, 1992.
Uh-huh.
In 1998, Demon was bought by Scottish Telecom, a wholly owned subsidiary of the private utility company Scottish Power.
Mm-hmm.
Scottish Telecom rebranded as Thus plc in October 1999 and floated on the London Stock Exchange. Thus plc fully demerged from Scottish Power in 2002. Thus became part of Cable and Wireless plc and then part of Cable and Wireless Worldwide following a split of its parent.
So this is basically showing how this company started off, and it's called a devilishly good broadband, Demon. Why would a company, just the board of directors or whoever it is, say, hey, let's start a company and call it Demon? Why is that, Mishpachah? And so we can see it start off as this company and then gradually coming into or building into cable and wireless. And cable and wireless is all over the world. Okay, let's continue on.
The company was purchased as part of the acquisition of Cable and Wireless Worldwide by Vodafone Group on July 27th, 2012.
Mm-hmm.
Demon now operates as a brand of Vodafone. From 1996 to 2006, Demon operated as a subsidiary ISP business in the Netherlands. It was sold to KPN in June 2006, and its operations transferred to their XS4AL subsidiary.
Now, just to pause for a moment, a lot of these companies share their technologies. You might find another company who like the system, the software, and they will actually purchase a portion of that company or the technology or something. And also, when you see a lot of these companies buying out other companies, you got to always go back to the seed company, the genesis of that company, where it started. Today you may see like AT&T, but yesterday it was something else. This is why I'm starting here, so we can see some things, the birth and how it grew into this thing. And then after a while, the demon has put on some new clothes and appears as something else. So you're not seeing a company called Demon, you're seeing something else. A lot of times when we work for these Fortune 500 companies, you have the opportunity to invest in a 401k. And your 401k goes into all of these investment companies. A lot of times you don't know the companies that you're investing in has a long history. And when you start to research the companies, Mishpah, you're going to quickly learn that these companies are against the Most High. What do? Let's continue on.
The public telephone number of the company and many of the dial-up access numbers end with 666.
It ends with what?
Ends with 666.
Do you think that's a coincidence, Mishpah? The access number ends with 666. Go ahead.
The supposed number of the beast.
They know exactly what this is all about. Go ahead.
A deliberate pun on the name demon.
A deliberate pun. So they're, trying to make mockery, right? Go ahead.
When thus PLC was formed as a parent of Demon, its randomly allocated company number also ended in 666. Also, after a spate of access-related names, e.g. Gatepost, many of its original servers' host names started with DIS, being the initial letters of Demon Internet Services, as well as the name of a part of hell in Dante's Inferno and another name for Lucifer.
So the DIS, is anyone in this room into technologies, into software, or into the internet systems, the back end of systems? If so, have you come across the DIS? So DIS is just the initials for Demon Internet Services. Did you are you all aware of this? Demon Internet Services, also known as Lucifer. My brothers and sisters, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood. We are not dealing with flesh and blood, Mishpah. You've got mail, but from whom? Some time ago, when I used to send out emails to brothers and sisters, sometimes it'll come back as an error. And I would see this little thing that says mailer demon. And I would be like, oh, wait a minute. But it's spelled different. Let's read that other part. People also ask. Let's look into this, Mishpah. Let's look at this. So why would they choose to have something that replies that there's a problem, that a demon is responding to you with regards to an error in the system? Read that for me, please.
People also ask, what is this mailer daemon? Definition of mailer daemon: software and a mail server that delivers messages to recipients. When you get a mailer daemon at whatevercompany.com message in your inbox, the server at that company is informing you that it is returning your message because of some failure.
The server at that company is informing you that it is returning your message because of some failure. So who is bringing this message to you? It's a demon. A demon. A demon. Do you see that, Mishpah? A demon. Let's move on. Let's read our next piece.
Simply put,
uh-huh.
a daemon is a computer program that automatically performs a task.
Uh-huh.
This seems unimpressive, but there was a time when computers relied on human beings to input commands or information in order to work. A daemon takes simple errands off an operating system's plate, freeing it up to handle more taxing things. Daemons are your friends and they don't
Wait, slow down. Daemons are what?
Daemons are your friends and they don't come from hell.
It reminds me of the class we did about showing the spaceships coming in. When the thing was revealed out of the spaceship, it was a devil, and the children was holding the hand of the demon. And the demon says, "Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid." If the children are not afraid of it, who are the ones mainly involved in these computer systems and are not afraid of these computer systems? It's the children. It's the children, Mishpachah. So now they're saying that the demons are your friends. They're not from hell. They're not from hell. Read on for me, please. A demon?
A daemon operates out of sight from the user's eyes,
Uh-huh.
and it is this quality that inspires its name.
This quality that inspires its name. The quality to operate outside of users' eyes. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, beyond your sight, something you're not seeing. Read on.
Members of MIT's Project Mac are credited with coming up with the term during their early research on artificial intelligence and computing processes.
Uh-huh.
The group was created in 1963. According to Project Mac's Fernando J. Corbato, the term for this new type of computing was inspired by Maxwell's daemon of physics and thermodynamics.
Uh-huh.
Maxwell's daemon was an imaginary agent which helped sort molecules of different speeds and worked tirelessly in the background.
Wait a minute. It's a imaginary agent which helps sort molecules. Imaginary? That sounds like it's connected to, as the Bible says, we're not wrestling against flesh and blood. Read on.
He told the Austin Chronicle.
Now it says work tirelessly, work tirelessly. Remember when Job, when there was a gathering in the book of Job, and Satan was saying that he was up and down the earth looking for things to do, right? The devil, there's a saying, the devil never rests. Is that correct, Sarah? The devil never rests. He's always busy, up and down, looking for something to do. Continue on.
We fancifully began to use the word daemon to describe background processes which worked tirelessly to perform system chores.
Uh-huh.
The daemon spelling comes from the Greek use of the word, and it refers to a general spirit and not necessarily an evil being.
So why did they just call it an angel? Why did they have to choose demon when everybody around the world knows that a demon is associated with something that is evil? A demon is not something associated with something that is good. It's a fallen angel. Why couldn't they call it or label it an angel? Call it Michael, call it Gabriel, something that has a positive background to it. Why did they have to start off with 666? And then try to massage our minds into believing that it's not something evil. It's generally a good spirit. Let's go to our next piece, daemon computing.
In multitasking computer operating systems, a daemon is a computer program that runs as a background process rather than being under the direct control of an interactive user. Traditionally, the process names of a daemon end with the letter D for clarification that the process is in fact a daemon and for the differentiation between a daemon and a normal computer program.
All right. Now, when you look at the picture here, you can see the layers. It almost reminds me of how Satan conceals himself. The hierarchy. When you read the book of Daniel, it speaks about, Michael says, listen, Daniel, I know you were praying for all that time, and I was bringing you a message. But the prince of Persia had withhold me, and I had to call for backup. And Michael the archangel came to help me, and I broke free and bring the message to you. When we read the book of Ephesians again, when it talks about principalities in high places, there are layers, there's a hierarchy, there's a lot of different people involved, connecting, going up to certain demons, and those demons have to answer to the devil. The same way you see this hierarchy on the spiritual realm, Mishpachah, the same way you see this hierarchy in computing. All these different layers. Going back to the root, the demon is behind the scenes. I know someone is going to say, you know, brother, you're just trying to squeeze at a gnat. You're trying to get blood out of a stone. You're pushing, you know, you're just making too much of this thing. No, Mishpachah, I'm not. Let's continue on. Go to where it says, for example, the next.
For example, syslog-D is a daemon that implements the system normal computer program.
Mm-hmm.
For example, syslog-D is a daemon that implements the system logging facility, and SSHD is a daemon that serves incoming SSH connections.
Mm-hmm.
In a Unix environment, the parent process of a daemon is often, but not always, the init process.
Uh-huh.
A daemon is usually either created by a process forking a child process and then immediately exiting, thus causing init to adopt the child process, or by the init process directly launching the daemon.
Now notice it uses the little word here, play on words. A daemon is usually either created by a process forking a child process. Think about that. Forking, when you think about the old days with the cartoons of the devil with a pitchfork trying to get the people into hell, why did it use this word and use this word in connecting forking with children, a child process? The language is not by accident, brothers and sisters. There's a spiritual connotation to the language, even in technology, because the technology is not coming from the Most High. It's coming from another source. Continue on.
In addition, a daemon launched by forking and exiting typically must perform other operations, such as desiccating the process from any controlling terminal.
So the demon appears, poof, poke you, do what it has to do, poof, disappears. Go somewhere else, do what it has to do, poof, go over here, poof. Continue on.
Such procedures are often implemented in various convenience routines, such as daemon 3 in Unix.
Unix. I think most of you all are very familiar with the Unix systems. That's the layer beneath. Okay, continue on.
Systems often start daemons at boot time.
At when?
At boot time.
At boot time. Read.
Which will respond to network requests, hardware activity, or other programs by performing some tasks.
So the devil gives out his orders, and it flows down to all the other hierarchy, flows all the way down. That's how the computer system works until the user accesses and put their hands on this thing. Continue on.
Daemons such as cron may also perform defined tasks at scheduled times.
Cron sounds like an alien. Etymology. Let's look at the etymology, Mishpachah. Let's look at the etymology, and we're going to make some connections here.
According to Fernando J. Corbacho, who worked on Project Mac in 1963, his team was the first to use the term daemon, inspired by Maxwell's daemon, an imaginary agent in physics and thermodynamics that helped to sort molecules. It
sounds like a spirit force to me. Read.
We fancifully began to use the word daemon to describe background processes which work tirelessly to perform system chores.
Read on.
In the general sense, daemon is an older form of the word demon from the Greek. In the Unix System Administration Handbook, page 403, Evie Nemeth states the following about daemons.
All right, so you see this woman, Evie Nemeth, her picture's right there. She's making it clear that the word daemon is from the word demon from the Greek. Now let's see what she has to say. Go ahead.
Many people equate the word daemon with the word demon, implying some kind of satanic connection between eunuchs and the underworld. This is an egregious misunderstanding.
An egregious misunderstanding. So we're just dumb. You're taking a word from the Greek, which means demon, but don't believe that, because demons in the Greeks didn't really believe that demons was something bad. They believed it was good. So we're using, Christians call it a bad thing, but the Greeks, it was all good for the Greeks. So we're using that thing, right? Continue on.
Daemon is actually a much older form of demon.
A much older form of demon. Go ahead.
Daemons have no particular bias towards good or evil, but rather serve to help define a person's character or personality.
Wait a minute. A demon. Now listen to the wording. You have to read between the lines. The demon serves to help define a person's character or personality. That's a spiritual thing, Mishpachah. This is talking about a spiritual thing, because the Torah is supposed to train up a child in the way they should go. The Most High says, teach them, Book of Deuteronomy, when they rise up in the morning, as they go throughout the day, and when they lay down to sleep, teach your children. That builds the character. The word of the Most High builds character. So a demon serves to help defines a person, character, or personality. So if you got a demon around, what do you think the people are saying the demon is doing? The demons are shaping the character and the personality. And you wonder why it's so hard and why it's so addictive. What's going on spiritually behind the scenes? Go ahead and read. The ancient
Greeks' concept of a personal daemon was similar to the modern concept of a guardian angel.
It was similar to the modern concept of a guardian angel. So they're taking us back to the spiritual world. Brothers and sisters, the lady is letting us know this thing comes from a spiritual source. Go ahead and read.
Eudaimonia is the state of being helped or protected by a kindly spirit.
I've never known a demon to be called a kindly spirit. So what are we saying? That Gabriel is a demon? Come on, read on.
As a rule, eunuch systems seem to be infested with both daemons and demons.
So wait a minute. If the daemons are not demons, she make no reference directly saying, well, demon is the demon. She only try to explain away the word daemon. But then she says daemons and demons. Now she's not going to explain anything about the demons. So what is she saying? What are you saying, Miss Evie, Miss Evil? Evil Nemesis? What are you saying? Which one is it? Is it a daemon or demon? Continue on.
A further characterization of the mythological symbolism is that a daemon is something which is not visible, yet is always present and working its will.
All right, that's all we need from that. Let's read the dictionary definition of the word daemon, because we need to verify certain things. They're trying to say how the daemon is something positive for us, right? So we're supposed to look at the devil or daemon as an angel of, what does the Bible say about angel of light? Can you get that for me too, please? So read the dictionary definition for me, please.
In ancient Greek, a divinity or supernatural being of a nature between gods and humans.
In ancient Greek, it's a divinity. So we're talking about spirits. A of a supernatural being of a nature between gods and humans. Archaic spelling of what? Demon. Archaic spelling of demon. In other words, it's an old usage of the word demon, Mishpachah. Have you all seen that for yourself? Has everybody seen that? All right. Okay. So Sarah, when you get, do you have it for me? Okay. So far, Mishpachah, we are seeing how the systems of this world, what we call the technology of this world, is much more than we can see with our naked eye. And we ought to be mindful that we are dealing with satanic forces behind the scenes. So we're going to go to 2 Corinthians, you said? 11 and 14. 2 Corinthians 11 and verses 14. Let's see what the Bible is saying with regards to how Satan likes to present himself. 2 Corinthians 11 and verses 14.
And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light.
Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light.
Therefore, it is no great thing if his ministers also be transformed as the ministers of righteousness.
His ministers are the ones who minister or do the work for Satan. That's the computer peoples, the peoples in government, the Bill Gates from the gate of hell. You have the Google peoples, you have all the different peoples who are doing what they're supposed to do because their master, the devil, has transformed them and himself into something good for society. Okay? Whose end shall be according to what? To their works, Mishpachah. Let's go back to our presentation here. Jesuits in the media. I'm not sure if you all are familiar with the Jesuits. It's the Society of Jesus, formed by Ignatius de Loyola. I think his name is like that. I'm not sure. Loyola or whatever. Back in the 1500s, he was a very devoted person to the Catholic Church, to the Catholic cause, back in the 1500s, and he vowed to work with the Pope to destroy anyone who opposes the Vatican. And Ignatius had formed a society of spies that goes out into all the world, infiltrate governments, schools, churches, you name it. Anyone who speaks against Rome, they infiltrate and destroy them either with money, women, scandal, you name it. That's their job. It's called the Jesuits, or the Society of Jesus, and they are the CIA of the Vatican. That's their symbol, IHS, Isis, Horus, and Seb. So we know that the Vatican is part of the same demonic system that the Bible has talked about and prophesied in the book of Revelations. I'm not sure if many of you all know this, but they have their hands deep into the media. So let's look at this list that has been compiled back in 2009. Time Warner.
The owner is Jeff Books. Until recently, the head was Richard Parsons, an associate of the Rockefellers, who are papal cohorts of the Jesuits.
So Time Warner, the media, is connected to the Catholic Church. You all see that? Okay, let's look at Walt Disney.
The man in charge is Robert Iger, but director emeritus is Roy Disney, who is a papal knight in the Roman Catholic Order of St. Gregory the Great. Also notable is the fact that since 1996, a man named Leo J. O'Donovan, S.J., has been on the board of the company. O'Donovan is a Jesuit priest and the former president of Georgetown University.
So you have all these Jesuits or Jesuit-affiliated people that's deeply involved in the media. And that's just the Jesuit side. Now there's Of course, as you know, there's the Ashkenazim side of things also. Okay, let's look at number 3, Viacom.
The man in charge of Viacom is Summer Rothstein, who was trained by Jesuits at Georgetown University.
Sumner Rothstein is a Jewish person who was trained by the Jesuits. I thought the Jewish people were not Catholic. Read on.
At Georgetown University, another Jesuit-trained Zionist.
So you can see, family, that they're all working together, both the Zionists or the Jewish people and the Vatican. They can tell you they don't believe in Jesus all they want. Caesar Borgia. Brothers and sisters, when you start shaking the tree, you're going to see what falls out of it. Okay? All right, read on.
Viacom's senior executive vice president and chief administrative officer, Thomas E. Dooley, is Roman Catholic, trained at the devoutly Roman Catholic St. John's University.
And I thank our sisters for posting this in the chat that BET is also connected to Viacom. So you know if BET is connected and a Jesuit-trained Jewish person is involved in all this stuff, Mishpachah, you can just imagine. Okay, let's go to our next one, number 4. News Corp and 21st Century Fox.
Rupert Murdoch is a Knight of Malta, a Knight of St. Gregory the Great, and a Knight of the Equestrian Order. He is the founder, chairman, and CEO of global media holding company, News Corporation, the world's second largest media conglomerate, and its successors, News Corp and 21st Century Fox, after the conglomerate split.
Now, equestrian, excuse me, thank you so much, is dealing with what? What does that mean? Horses. Just keep that in mind, horses. So think about the riders on those horses, right? The riders on the horses, Book of Revelations. Anyway, it's another class. Number 5, CBS.
CBS is owned by Viacom, which we've already covered. One of the directors of CBS Corporation, Joseph A. Califano Jr., is a Roman Catholic man who was Jesuit trained at the College of the Holy Cross in Massachusetts.
So you got another Roman Catholic Jesuit involved in CBS, okay? Read on.
Califano is a Papal Knight of Malta. Another of their directors, Charles K. Gifford, is chairman emeritus of the Bank of America.
The Bank of who?
Bank of America, which is 51% owned by the Jesuits and was founded by Knight of Malta, A.P. Gianni. Another director is Robert D. Walter, who was Roman Catholic.
Now, it doesn't matter what bank you bank at, Mishpachah. They're all controlled by all of these peoples. All of them. Number 6, Cox Enterprises. Cox Enterprises
founder was a supporter of the League of Nations and a supporter of Jesuit coadjutor Woodrow Wilson.
President Woodrow Wilson. All of these people were part of the one world system. The League of Nations became what we know today as the United Nations. Okay. NBC Universal, number 7.
NBC Universal's president is Jeff Zucker, and its vice chairman, Bob Wright, is a Roman Catholic man who was Jesuit trained at the College of the Holy Cross. NBC Universal has close ties to the Blackstone Group, which is run by Peter G. Peterson, whose wife has been honored at a number of Jesuit universities, and Stephen Schwarzman.
Schwarzman. That sounds Jewish to me, right? Zucker? Schwarzman? Read on.
A member of the Papal Skull and Bone Society and a close friend of Cardinal Egan.
So you got the Cardinals with the Skulls and Bones, Masonic New World Order people, all working together as one big happy family. Number 8, Gannett.
A major director at Gannett is Louis Bacardi, a Roman Catholic man who was Jesuit trained at Fordham University, the Jesuit University of New York, the papal capital of the USA.
Imagine that, Mishpachah. Let's go to our next one. Number 9, Clear Channel.
Clear Channel is owned by Bain Capital.
Uh-huh.
The vice president of Bain Capital is Lisa Clausen, a Roman Catholic woman who was Jesuit trained at Boston College.
Mm-hmm.
The chief financial officer of Bain Capital is Jay Corrigan, a Roman Catholic man who was Jesuit trained at Fordham University. The managing director of Bain Capital is Dewey Award, a Roman Catholic man who was Jesuit trained at Georgetown University.
Uh-huh.
The executive vice president of Bain Capital, Patrick Laberton, is a Roman Catholic man who was Jesuit trained at Georgetown University. Another executive at Bain is Philip Carter, a Roman Catholic man who was Jesuit trained at Boston College.
Mm-hmm.
Another executive at Bain is Emmett Condra, a Roman Catholic man who was Jesuit trained at Boston College. Another executive at Bain is Susan Levine, who was Jesuit trained at Georgetown University.
So you have all these people who are Jesuit trained working for Clear Channel. That's the media. These are the people who put out your movies, your cable networks, who link you into the internet, who link you into all these different systems. When you want to talk to your family members and you want to see people face to face, they're all connected, Mishpachah. They're all connected. All right. Brother Max says Blackstone bought Hilton hotels. So they're all it's so difficult. This is why in the book of Matthew, chapter 4, again, the Bible says the devil brought Yeshua up on a high, exceedingly high mountain and says, all these things will I give unto you, because he owns all of them. Okay. Let's get number 10, McGraw-Hill's Company.
Robert J. Bahash, the executive vice president and chief financial officer, is Roman Catholic, trained at the Roman Catholic Mount St. Mary's University.
So even the publishing companies, McGraw-Hill. Okay. 11, Hearst Corporation.
Hearst is run by the Knights of Malta, a Vatican military order that has been called the Pope's militia since its founding.
The Pope's militia is in charge of the Hearst Corporation. Read.
It was founded by William Randolph Hearst, a Knight of Malta, the nationwide head of the Hearst newspaper group, and the vice president of the Hearst Corporation is Bob Danzig, a Knight of Malta. A director of Hearst Corporation and executive vice president of Hearst Magazines is Raymond J. Peterson, a Knight of Malta.
All right. Okay. Let's move on to our next one. Number 12, the Washington Post.
The Washington Post Company is run by Donald E. Graham, a member of the Jesuit Vatican-controlled Bilderberg Group, which was founded by Joseph Rettinger, a Jesuit priest and Knight of Malta, and Prince Bernhard.
Bernhard.
A Knight of Malta.
Imagine that. Read on.
The senior vice president of the Washington Company is Veronica Dillon, a Roman Catholic woman who was Jesuit trained at Fordham University.
Take your time now.
A director, Anne M. Mulcahy, is a Roman Catholic woman trained at a Jesuit-run Roman Catholic college.
So you have the Washington Post, Knights of Malta, Jewish people, all kinds of stuff tied into this thing. Bilderberger groups. Let's look at number 13, the New York Times.
The vice president and assistant controller of the New York Times Company is Vincenzo Di Maggio, a Roman Catholic man.
Now, Joseph Rettinger is a high-ranking Mason, a Knight of Malta, a Jew, a sodomite, and also a CIA agent. See all that information, Mishpachah? All right. Let's look at number 14, Scripps, E.W. Scripps Company.
The vice president of corporate communications and investor relations is Timothy A. King, who was Jesuit trained at Georgetown College. The chief compliance and ethics officer is Mary Dennis Cuprianis, a member of the board of trustees of a private Roman Catholic college, College of Mount St. Joseph. E. John Wolfzorn, the treasurer for E.W. Scripps, is Roman Catholic.
Let's get number 15, Thomas Reuters. You know Reuters news?
Reuters, like most media, is controlled by the papacy's CFR. Further, the CFR is controlled by the Royal Institute of International Affairs, which is controlled by the Vatican Club of Rome.
See that, Mishpachah? So the news comes straight from the Vatican's hands. The Vatican's hands, Mishpachah. And then it is parceled out to these other subgroups, all the little groups. So when you see one news source is saying yes, all of the others are going to say yes. If one news source says no, all of them are going to say no too, because they're all connected to the same. They all feed from the same froth. Okay? Number 16, Freedom Communications. Freedom.
A major director at Friedman Communications is Raymond C.H. Bryan, who was Jesuit trained at Fordham University.
Number 17, A&E Television Networks.
A&E is owned by Hearst, which you've already seen is run by the Vatican's Knights of Malta.
Oh, brothers and sisters, no matter where you run, we're going to find all of these things all connected. They're all connected, all connected. Now, what we are seeing today is creating a world of laziness. An unfortunate situation has happened to much of our people. You have the perfect computer. The perfect computer is you have a seat that has a toilet built into it. The desk has your coffee or your cup holder, you got the toilet paper. Got your little fridge there on the side, your urinal. You know, you got your antivirus to spray viruses, you know, when you touch the keyboard. You got your tap water, your mirror to see who's coming behind you, because you don't want people to see what you're looking at on the computer. So you got a mirror to check behind you. You're always plugged into the headset. You got your vision thing to check your eyesight, because after staying on that computer for a long time, you have to check to monitor your vision from time to time, because you don't know how it's destroying you. But it's creating, this thing is creating a thing where you don't leave your space. You're always plugged into your space. You don't go to get any sunlight. You don't do this. You don't do, it's just there. You're just there all the time, all day. 10 hours, 12 hours, just there. As long as you got a toilet, you're not going to even go to the bathroom. You can just stay right there and do your business. And most homes don't have a system built like this. The toilet is in another room. So most of the times, people got to get up and go to the bathroom. That's pretty much, or get something to eat and come back. If you got a fridge in the room, you're not going anywhere. And if your toilet seat is a recliner, you can just go back and sleep like that. Just put your head back and sleep. And then when you get up, when you hear a little bing, 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 get up, go check your mail, you check your stuff, and you're keeping it moving. This is the world that the system is building. It's building a system of invalids. It's building a system of handicapped people. I know this may seem like it's a joke, it's funny. Brothers and sisters, this is the next problem that we're going to have to face as parents and also grandparents. This stuff is no joke. This stuff is no joke. It's getting worse. Can we find in the Bible likes? One of the things that we have noticed has risen up is a society built on likes. I remember watching a film which put out a mockumentary showing life under likes. In order for you to get approved, instead of your credit report, it was a like report. Instead of how much credit you have that is good, is how many likes you have in order for you to get approved, to get a home, buy a car, or whatever. The book of Psalms of Solomon, chapter 4, verses 7 says, "May Elohim expose the deeds of those who try to impress people and expose their deeds with ridicule and contempt." Psalms of Solomon, chapter 4 and 7. May Elohim expose the deeds of those who try to impress people. Can you please like me? Like. And expose their deeds with ridicule and contempt. We find that people's jobs or resumes are being checked based upon how many likes that they have, how many connections, who knows who, the reports of others, what they have to say. Instead of a letter of reference is a letter of likes. And our children are being raised in an environment where if they're not liked, there are people who are depressed and commit suicide because they're not liked. You can check the news, Mishpachah, and verify what I'm saying. Not everybody's strong enough to get around that problem, but there are a lot of people who are struggling because they're not liked. They don't feel like they're fitting in and whatnot. And this is a major problem, a major problem. We are not supposed to identify based upon how many people like you. We're supposed to have self-esteem within ourselves from the word of our King. Let's go to our next reading here. The startup, the psychology of being liked on social media. Let's learn something about this.
If you're like any of the Start Digital team, then one of the first things you'll do in the morning is check your social feed.
So first thing that you do is check your social feed. What's going on in the social world? And you start from there. Go ahead and read.
Depending on your poison of choice, it could be Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, or LinkedIn.
So this is where you looked to begin your morning so you can build your day. Go ahead.
Whichever platform we're on, one of the first checkpoints is the notification tab. Has anyone liked something of mine? Has anyone tagged me? Etc., etc. It's a habit we quickly get pulled into.
Slow down. Read.
It's addictive.
It's what?
It's addictive.
It's addictive. So they understand that there's an addiction. All right. Read on.
Have you ever stopped to wonder why it's so addictive?
Read.
That little rush you get when your post gets more likes than normal. There is a reason for that rush. Dopamine. Dopamine
for dope, to dope you up, to make you a dunce, to make you a dope. Dopamine, that's a natural thing that happens within the body. But you see, what I'm explaining, what I'm sharing with you all, Mishpachah, is there's a science behind everything. The spiritual causes a physical reaction in our bodies. And they know this. They understand how our brain works. Why do you think someone can build a billion-dollar empire on likes like Facebook company? Because they have done the research. They have done the survey. They have got the information together. They know how the brain operates. They know that they can be billionaires by doing certain things. Read on.
For every thumbs up or heart, we get a little psychological high through a shot of dopamine. The more likes, the more shots.
The more likes, the more shots. Read on.
The more shots we have, the more shots we want. And we're in a loop.
Now we are trapped. Go ahead.
Scientists used to think that dopamine was responsible for pleasure in the brain.
So the scientists used to think that this is all about pleasure to the brain. Go ahead.
But we now know that rather than create pleasure, it makes us seek it.
So instead of creating the pleasure, it's causing us to chase after it like a fruit in the Garden of Eden. Now you eat of the thing, now you have this desire to pursue certain things. Because Satan knows from the time you eat of this thing, now you're seeking after evil. the things that the Most High say we should not get ourselves involved in. And we innocently go into this stuff. I mean, no one goes in to be trapped. Every trap is set with attraction to it. But once you're in the pit, you cannot get out of that pit. You have to fight your way out of the pit. And in most cases, the person who has made the trap is an expert in trapping things, trapping creatures. 2 Peter chapter 2, verses 9 to 10.
The Lord knoweth how to deliver the godly out of temptations.
The traps, the Most High knows how to deliver us from the traps and the snares. Go ahead.
And to reserve the unjust unto the day of judgment to be punished. But chiefly them that walk after the flesh in the lust of uncleanliness, and despise government, presumptuous are they, self-will, they are not afraid to speak evil of dignities.
Let's look at the word self-will. Basically, willful, contrary, perverse, uncooperative, wayward, headstrong, stubborn, pig-headed, and such like. In other words, whatever that they find themselves in, it is very difficult for you to get them out of it. Once they're in it, they're trapped. Now you can't really say too much because according to the definition of self-will, they become headstrong, strong in the head, stubborn. This is the generation that is arising, Mishpachah. But verses 9 gives us some hope. It says, Yahuwah, our Heavenly Father, knows how to do what? Deliver the godly out of temptations. And we are so grateful to know that we have this way out. 2 Timothy 3, verses 1. I'm going to read from 1 to verses 5. 2 Timothy 3. Now we're going to take a reflection of these words of Shaul and apply them to the times that we live so we can understand what we're dealing with.
This know also that in the last days.
Scratch that. In these last days, go ahead.
In these last days. Perilous times shall come.
Scratch that. Perilous times are what?
Are here.
Are here. Because when he said it, it was to come. But now we're here. Verses 2.
For men shall be lovers of their own selves.
Scratch that. Men are lovers of their own selves. Not shall be. They are lovers of their own selves. Read.
They're covetous. They're boasters. Proud. Blasphemers. Disobedient to parents. Unthankful. Unholy. Without natural affection.
Stop. After looking at who's behind the scenes and seeing that they understand what happens when you have this addiction with social media and stuff, causes dopamine to grow, to be in the mind and stuff, it starts to make you have this sense of artificial. The artificial world is making you become artificial. If you feed upon a synthetic spirit, if that's a word at all, help you all understand what I'm trying to say, it also produces unnatural affections, without affections, lacking affections. What happens when you need likes? You have no type of interaction with people. You don't know how to interact with people. So now when you have to interact with people, you collide, you bump heads. You don't know how to deal with rejection. You don't know how to deal with certain things. It's creating a world of monsters, Mishpatah. Because children are now, little children are picking up the sliding devices, going back and forth, swipe, 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 swipe. And that's it. And you put a bunch of children in a room, and most of the time, they're not interacting with each other. They sit on one side of the couch, another one on the other side of the room, and they're all in their own world. They're not sitting down to do anything with each other anymore. This is without natural affection. Continue on.
Truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good.
So now the children of this generation that has been raised up, don't like the old way that the old folks have lived. They despise that. That's not good. They're fierce. You can't talk to them anymore. Incontinent, false accusers, truce breakers. They don't know anything about covenant and being strong in that. Because if you're raised by a computer and computer programming, what kind of life can you live? Verses 4.
Traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of Elohim.
Lovers of pleasures more, because if the first thing in your mind is social media, electronics, and all this kind of stuff, we have a serious problem. And if you spend more time with this thing than the word of the Most High, we have a problem. We have a problem. You may not, whoever's involved in that may not think they have a problem. But if you are bored, falling asleep, tired, whatnot, with the word of the Most High, but awake, active when it comes to the things of pleasures of the world, that's a problem. Let's read verses 5.
Having a form of godliness,
but
denying the power thereof, from such turn away.
So we got to be careful, Mishpachah. I'm trying to see if there's any way we can reach this generation and to prepare our people to be different. Okay, we have to be different. Now on the screen you can see that in the East, in Asia, and also here in the West, you got, okay, in the bottom of the screen you can see the gambling casinos. People who are addicted to gambling, they're always on that thing. When you go to the casinos, they don't have any windows. The drinks are free. There's no clocks in the room so you can know what time it is, because time is not relevant. Having you stuck on the game, to keep playing, the only thing that is relevant to you is how much money I have in my account that I can use to play. How much money, because your money, your bank account is your lifeline. If you don't have a lifeline, I'm going to try to find a lifeline and to tap into a lifeline, maybe borrow from someone, steal, or something. And if you don't walk away as a winner, your spirit is broken. You're depressed. You're angry. You're frustrated. If you lose everything, your family's broken. Your family's stressed. Your family's frustrated. And your family don't know what to do with you. It creates problems. So if that's the problem in the gambling world, when you look up to the top of the screen, you can see all those men, mostly men, that are stuck on this internet stuff. Look at the amount of young people on this thing with their headphones tuned into whatever it is that they're doing, Mishpachah. Brothers and sisters, the game card is no different from the game chip, the gaming chip. No different whatsoever. There's none whatsoever. No different. 2 Timothy 3:7. Go ahead and read.
Ever learning and never able to come to the knowledge of the truth.
So people are always learning. Yes, I know the truth. Yes, I know this. But instead of putting and never able, just scratch that. Ever learning, but never able to come to the knowledge of truth, because there's always an excuse. The truth is not being effective. It's not helping to dig them out of that hole. They know a lot because we are in what the world knows as the information age. Is that correct? So when you talk to them, they have more knowledge. They know more than you. They're more experienced. They can explain a whole lot of stuff. But the knowledge is not helping them to make a difference. You see, there's nothing wrong with using computers and internet per se. But if you put the thing on a scale and 90% of your time is on this stuff constantly, that's an addiction. Nothing wrong with having some games and stuff. But if 90% of your time is in the game, gambling, that's a problem. If 90% of your time is in just working, that's a problem. Even If you spend all your time in the scriptures alone, that's a problem, because the Most High didn't make the scriptures for you to just sit there in the Bible, just read all day, and don't go and get some fresh air. Don't go and work in the garden. Don't go and have interaction with people. I mean, he didn't make it to be this way. There is something called balance in life. Sheep don't just go and eat. They have to break away from that and digest the thing for a little bit. Take a walk around, run around and skip and play, jump around in the sun, then go lay down under the shade of the trees and get some fresh air. Drink some water, move around, bite a little bit of the flowers, butt heads with the other sheep and stuff. You know, roll around in the grass. I mean, it's not just eat, or just drink. There must be some balance. Okay, verses 8.
Now as Jannes and Jambres withstood Moses, so do these also resist the truth. Men of corrupt minds reprobate concerning the faith.
So you're always going to find some opposition. Okay, read on.
But they shall proceed no further.
But you're not going to get anywhere with that. You can't, you know, if you just know stuff, that's not going to help to produce life for you. You must be able to use what you have learned to have a life. Okay, read on.
For their folly shall be manifest unto all men, as theirs also was.
Eventually, it's going to catch up to you. You must break free from this thing. Verses 10.
But thou hast fully known my doctrine, manner of life, purpose, faith, long suffering, charity, and patience.
Let's stop there for a moment. See, Shaul wasn't just reading scriptures for doctrine. He actually lived the Torah. He went out, he did things, he got involved. His life had purpose. He believed. Long suffering, he put up with stuff. He had charity, he gave, you know, he was patient. Verses 11.
Persecution, affliction, which came unto me at Antioch, at Iconium, at Lystra. What persecution I endured, but out of them all Adonai delivered me. Yea, and all that will live godly in the Messiah Yeshua shall suffer persecution.
So when we are in the word of the Most High, we're going to have difficulty in this life. It is a fact. And we must never shy away from that. When things happen to you and your family, just understand who's behind the scenes working. Don't put the family member's face on the thing, put Satan's face on the thing. So we are living in a time right now, Mishpachah, where these things are part of our world right now. It's not something that we just read in the books anymore. It is part of our reality today. Verses 13, but
evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse.
Things are going to get worse and worse. With the technologies that we see, it's getting bad. Read on.
Deceiving and being deceived.
They're deceiving and they're also being deceived themselves. 14.
But continue thou in the things which thou hast learned.
What does that mean? Continue thou in the things. You continue in the things which you have learned. It's a Torah. We got to hold on to the Torah even in these modern times when people will say that's old-fashioned. No. Old Testament, old-fashioned. The Torah itself is a guide for us to live even in these modern times, Mishpachah. That's how we're supposed to live, okay? We must have balance. Go ahead and read.
But continue thou in the things which thou hast learned and hast been assured of, knowing of whom thou hast learned them.
Okay, let me reset my screen here. Hang on one second, Mishpachah. Seems like there's a little problem. Usually whenever we're doing these classes, as you all know very well, Satan tries to mess things up. How is the screen right now? Is it better? Can you all see? Is it better? Okay, great. And always let me know when there's a problem. Okay, go ahead and read that again.
But continue thou in the things which thou hast learned and has been assured of, knowing of whom thou hast learned them.
Where do we learn this stuff from? We have learned it from our forefathers. It has been written, it's been given to us, and passed on down the line. So we can live in this wicked and perverse world. 15, let's read.
And that from a child thou hast known the holy scriptures.
This is what we have to do for our young ones, our children. Teach them. Teach them, and so that they can know how to deal with this kinds of stuff that Satan is trying to bombard their minds with. They're innocent. They don't know the history. They're not looking at all this stuff. Who was behind the computer system? What they were trying to do? What their goals are and stuff. The people of the world have a goal because they're receiving the information from Satan. What we need to do is to teach our children the scriptures so that they can have eyes to see and ears to hear. Continue on. Which are?
And that from a child thou hast known the holy scriptures, which are able to make thee wise unto salvation through faith which is in the Messiah Yeshua.
The scriptures is what destroys the traps that are set before us and helps us to navigate in this perverted world. Verses 16.
All scripture is given by inspiration of Yahuwah and is profitable for doctrine, for reproof, for correction, for instruction in righteousness.
Read on.
That the man of Elohim may be perfect, thoroughly furnished unto all good works.
Hallelujah. This is what we're supposed to do, Mishpachah, that we can be thoroughly, what does it say? Furnished. Thoroughly furnished unto what? Let's go to 1 Timothy chapter 6 and verses 6. Let me pull it up on the screen for brothers and sisters to see. 1 Timothy.
But godliness with contentment is great gain.
So how can we apply this in today's world? We have a gimme society. We want the latest apps, the latest upgrades, the latest clothing, cars, latest homes, the latest fashion, latest foods. We are on a diet, slim fast diet, liquid diet, burn your feet diet, burn the abs diet, the wink diet, the smile diet, the laughing diet. I mean, we're in all kinds of different diets. Okay. What else we have? We got the new technologies that are out. We have so many different things that are out, and everybody's jumping on this thing like it's a drug. But the Bible is saying godliness with contentment is what? Great gain. Great gain. Verses 7.
For we brought nothing into this world.
We brought nothing into this world. Go ahead.
And it is certain.
It is certain.
We can carry nothing out.
We can't even carry something out with us. So we are focusing on the wrong stuff. People are classifying others as being a human being based upon stuff, how much stuff you have, and if you have the latest stuff. Because people got a lot of stuff and they're saying, well, that's enough. I don't want any more. And people are going to say, well, you got old furniture. You got an old car. You need to get this. You need to get that. Go ahead and read. And
having food and raiment, let us be therewith content.
Food and clothing. Let us be therewith content. Why? Because you can walk away from your house and you have clothes on, food in your belly, right? Let's be content with these things. You know how hard that is for people today? I mean, let's be honest. It's hard for pretty much everybody. People feel that they need to have something, somewhere, to feel like they're somebody. But the scriptures is telling us, the Bible is letting us know that the Most High have a different plan for us. Let's get verses 9.
But they that will be rich fall into temptation and a snare,
Read.
and into many foolish and hurtful lusts.
Into foolish and what?
Hurtful lusts, which drown men in destruction and perdition.
It drowns men. It traps men. You think it's low tide, so we're out there just having a good time. And all of a sudden, that thing comes on you and you're drowned. You can't outswim the trap, Mishpachah. Verses 10.
For the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some coveted after, they have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows.
So we've been running behind all this pursuit of happiness ideology, and just to find that it doesn't work. It doesn't work whatsoever. Verses 11.
But thou, O man of Elohim, flee these things and follow after righteousness, godliness, faith, love, patience, meekness. Fight the good fight of faith. Lay hold on eternal life, whereunto thou art also called, and have possessed a good profession before many witnesses.
Profess a good profession before many witnesses. Okay, that's all we need from that. All praises to our King. Now, let's take a look at the new confessionals. I don't know if you all are familiar with confessionals, but those of you who are who has roots or had a past in the Catholic Church would know what this is all about. A confessional is a place where you go to this little booth, and there's a priest on the other side of the booth, a curtain or some section where you don't see the man you're speaking to, but you make your confess your faults or your sins or whatever. And the man on the other side, who is the priest, also known as the Father, will hear and tell you, well, God forgive you, and ask you questions and interact with you. And based upon what the Father is saying on the other side, Mishpachah, he knows pretty much your family history, because he's the one who listens to the voices of everybody within your community. He knows your secrets because he has trained you in such a way, the church has trained you in such a way that you need to go to this particular booth, this place, and you need to speak to this through this place, and everything of your life story goes to this one source. This person hears all your information and commits this to memory. He not only knows your information, your sins, who you slept with, what you drank, all the sins that you have committed, but also other members of your family. He also knows the secrets of your friends. He knows the secrets of the entire community in which he resides. When he gathers up all this information, he passes this information up to a higher chain of command. That's how the confessional works. I have lots of studies on the confessionals. It's a well set up thing from the time of Babylon, where the secrets of men were passed through this chain in the time of Babel. And this is how they control the people, because they knew the secrets of the community, and they know how to control people based upon the information that was shared. The information that was shared. Do you think Facebook just came up with this whole thing? No, Mishpachah. They got this system from the Catholic Church. So they set up a system where people can go into, and no matter how you try to erase that information, whatever you input in Facebook is never erased. It is always posted. It is always there. The only thing you can do is to basically shut or turn off the switch, and that's not even turned off permanently. As long as you type in your name, it pulls up all your information, all your connections. It reconnects you to everything that they never got rid of. There's no such thing as delete in Facebook. And our people are not getting the sense of it. They're involved in Facebook because they said it's a means to communicate with others for business. Really? You might go in for business, but your friends have information on you. When you interact with your friends or your family, your friends and family is not thinking like you. They're uploading their daily lives in this thing. Facebook Live, Facebook this. They got the app on the phone. It's on a computer desk. It's wherever they go. Facebook has your voice rhythm, algorithm of your voice. When you speak, it recognizes voice commands. All of these things are connected. So when you go in for business, all you're doing is triggering something else. This is the new confessional mishpachah. All of that stuff is transported throughout systems, and our people are not understanding. Basically, our children's lives has now become the lives of this new confessional. He's got the whole world in his hands. In his hands. In his hands. What if Yeshua had died and resurrected in our time with all of this information and whatnot? It will become nothing but a show. Everybody will have their smartphones, and they will be taking pictures of the resurrection, posting it live. It will be a whole show. It wouldn't be anything with purpose about resurrection, about life, overcoming death, about the power of salvation, about the meaning of life. It will be just, wow, look at this display. Look at this thing. Let's like it. Let's see how many likes I get. This is marvelous to be here. Look at me. Let's do a selfie. Selfie? Isn't that what Shaul talked about? This generation will be nothing but selfish. Selfie. Do you think it's a coincidence that these words are being used today by the demon in the system? Traps, aka snares. Let's get Exodus chapter 23. We're going to read 32 to 33.
Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor with their gods.
With who? In our modern time, who should we not be making covenants with? The heathen. Verses 33.
They shall not dwell in your land, lest they make you sin against me. For if you serve their gods, it will surely be a snare unto you.
If we are caught in a system that demands our attention from the time we open our eyes to the time we close our eyes, it demands us to have interaction, but we must always tap into it. My brothers and sisters, that thing has become a god. It has become a snare and also a trap. And if we are bound for happiness through the system that causes us to lose our way, brothers and sisters, that's a trap. Let's get Deuteronomy chapter 12. We're going to read verses 30. Deuteronomy chapter 12 and verses 30.
Take heed to thyself that thou be not snared by following them. After that they be destroyed from before thee, and that thou inquire not after their gods, saying, how did these nations serve their gods? Even so will I do likewise.
You see, the gods require a certain service. The gods require certain interaction. And if we find ourselves, again, if we find that we can spend 12 hours a day on the internet playing games and stuff, or interacting with other people, why is it a problem when you have to do 3 hours of studies in a class? That all of a sudden you have, what do you call that thing, ADD, attention deficit, or whatever it is. You can't stay up, not even for 3 hours in the word of the Most High. but you can spend hours and hours and hours in other things. This is a problem. Okay, this is a huge problem. Let's get Luke 21. We're going to read 34 to 36. Luke 21. This is the problem. Most people will go to church, and the only thing that keeps them going is the music, entertainment. As soon as the word comes out, it seems like there's a sleep thing that happens to them. They can't take it. I'm going to tell you this much, Mr. Ka. The word of the Most High is like a buffet. When I teach, I present everything like a buffet. You take as much as you can eat. You eat as much as you can, but don't complain with the others if they want to eat and enjoy themselves, and you only want to have a salad and walk out, or you don't complain if others want to enjoy a full course meal and such like. This is what a buffet is all about. And don't talk about closing down the buffet just because you can only have a salad. It's there, it's set up to feed everyone. You take as much as you can take. When a shepherd takes the sheep out to the pasture, he don't force the sheep to eat a certain amount of food for that day. The sheep takes as much food, grass, and water that they can take. When they're filled, they sit to the side and they digest it. Don't come around complaining and sending me emails complaining about all this and that and the other. I don't want to hear it, because we have different types of sheep. We have sheep that can take a lot and sheep that can take a little bit. You take what you can take and you keep it moving. But don't complain, because there will be a time when there'll be a famine in the land. There'll be a famine for the word. What are you going to do then? The Bible says to go to the ant, you sluggard, you lazy person. And see how the ant supplies herself. She gets all that she can get, because when that winter kicks in, you can't find food. You can't go out. And you're just talking about it's too much, 15 minutes, give a 15-minute class. I don't see a 15-minute kindergarten. I don't see a 15-minute elementary school. I don't see a 15-minute junior high or middle school or even a high school 15 minutes. You go to school, you stay the whole day and learn. College, so you can get a good job. You want a big paycheck, you're going to put the time in. Luke chapter 21, I'm going to read from 34 to verses 36.
And take heed to yourself, lest at any time your hearts be overcharged with surfeiting and drunkenness and cares of this life, and so that day come upon you unawares.
Because most of our people are so involved in all kinds of stuff. Brother Yona, you need to talk about investment. If you want to talk about investments, we can do that once in a while. But there are so many congregations that spend their time talking about money. You can go there. You know, and stop being in 2 or 3 different colleges. Either you're in one college to learn or you're in another college. It's too much dipping in and out all over the place. And then you're asking why you're confused about stuff. I'm not confusing you. You're confusing yourself because you're drinking from too many sources. Come on now. You know how to apply this in the real world, but when it comes to the word of the Most High, you don't know how it works. You want to argue with the teacher? You're in one class this week. Next week, you're over across the street in a different school. Then you come back and says, well, I learned this over there. You're wrong. No, you need to stay across the street. Stay over there. Okay? Stay over there. Verses 35.
For as a snare shall it come on all them that dwell on the face of the whole earth.
A snare is a trap, Mishpachah, and it happens in such a way that it's acceptable to you. You accept it. Okay? You accept it. It's acceptable to you as long as you say, oh, doesn't this thing look good and good to make one wise? And guess what happened? You bite it. Verses 36.
Watch ye therefore and pray always, that you may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass and to stand before the Son of Man.
That's what we're supposed to do. We are supposed to be mindful of the traps and to prepare ourselves. So social media sites and all these different peoples and stuff, they have an agreement. They have a thing set up, Ishbaka, that we need to find ourselves far away from. So this is what has happened in society and has been getting worse and worse. People, I remember when, as a young man, and I used to travel on the trains to go to school or to work or whatever. And I remember how people used to at least meet and greet people and have a little conversation. How's your day going? Hey, good afternoon, good morning, sir. How you doing? How you feeling? It doesn't matter what color or complexion, how old, you have a little conversation. Did you hear so and so? And you talk to people, you drink your coffee, catch your train, and move on. That stuff has pretty much died. You might find a little bit of that here and there, but people nowadays their spirit is in that. It's like the genie. Instead of a genie leaving the lamp, the genie's looking into the lamp, trapped into the lamp, both day and also night. All night, eyes are open bright, like this, can't sleep. It is very addictive, Mishpachah. Let's be honest. It's very addictive. Let's go. We're going to read our next reading, the sentences of Sirach Menander, which is found in the Pseudepigrapha. These are volumes of books of literature by our fathers that has been recorded to give us some wisdom and some understanding about how Israel lived and how we lived amongst the Greeks and amongst the Romans and how we lived in general. So let's see if we can glean some understanding from the sentences of Sirach Menander. We're going to start at chapter 1, verses 1. Go ahead and read.
Menander the sage, before everything, fear God.
Before everything in this world, we need to fear who?
Fear God.
Read on.
And honor the one that is older than you.
And honor your parents, or the one that is older, or the one who has a longer history, the more experience. They know what life used to be like before. I have to listen to my elder. He's going to tell me, son, this is how it used to be back in the day. This is how it used to be. And if you move this out of the way, you're going to find yourself in problems. I have to listen. Okay? So our younger people, please listen. Read on.
For thus you shall be honored by God.
The Most High will honor you if you listen to the parents before you, the older ones. Read on.
Flee from everything that is hateful.
The things that are hateful is these systems, because the root of it is evil. So we need to run away from it. When you see a trap, walk around it, look at it and say, well, is this thing for my health or to take away my life, to destroy me? And when you're in a trap, brothers and sisters, it is not only you that is in that pit, it is your family. Because the next generation is a continuance of your family. And when you die, your whole family line dies also. So we can't be playing around with our young ones, our daughters and our sons. The sons need daughters to link up so they can have a righteous family. So we got to pay close attention to the older ones. Let's continue on. Chapter 2, verses 1.
Menander the sage said, prior to the words of man are all his activities.
All his experiences, not just the words, but his life experiences are very important. Read on.
Water and seed, plants and children.
It
is good to plant plants, and it is comely to beget children.
So it's one thing to have a farm, but it's very important to have children, to beget children. If you're going to focus on anything, he says it is beautiful to beget children. Read.
Praiseworthy and good is the seed.
Praiseworthy and good is what?
Is the seed.
Is the seed. And today people are more focused upon opportunities, quick monies, and it's not about life anymore. The earth is, you see, when you start to look at something better than what you had before, you treat the thing that you had before as if it's garbage. So now the earth is garbage to you. You destroy the earth. You abuse the earth. When the water is looked at as not being good, now you're looking at vitamin water. You disrespect the fresh water that you have. You throw garbage in it. When you look at air as not being really anything anymore, you disrespect the air. You start disrespecting the thing that is important. Okay, let's read on.
Praiseworthy and good is the seed, but he through whom it comes to pass, he is to be praised before everything.
The one who is bringing forth the seed is the parent. That person is praiseworthy. He through whom it comes to pass. That's your father, your parents, your mother. He is to be praised before what? Everything. The Most High is to be praised before what? Everything. Because the Most High says, be fruitful and what? Multiply. Read on.
Fear God and honor your father and mother.
Uh-huh.
Do not laugh at old age.
Don't laugh, make mockery at the old age. Read on.
For that is where you shall arrive and remain.
You're going to arrive at that spot. You're going to get old at some point. And you're going to stay there, stay getting old. Read.
Honor him who is older than you.
Honor him that is what? Older than you. Read.
And God will raise you to honor and dignity.
And the Most High will raise you to honor and dignity. There's no way of disrespecting that which is before and expect to be respected. That has always baffled me. You have Hebrews who would disrespect an elder person or teacher, but they want to be a teacher and to be respected. They're disloyal to a teacher. The one that before they didn't know anything, now they know a few scriptures. Now they're going to disrespect the teacher and expect to set up a school and have people to respect and be loyal to them. How does that work? It doesn't work at all. When I was a child, I never disrespected my teachers. I had to respect my teachers. I learned this thing. Today, that doesn't even happen. The whole command chain is broken down. Let's read on.
Listen every day to the words of your father and mother, and seek not to offend and dishonor them.
Listen every day to the words of your father and your mother, little ones, and seek not to offend and do what? Dishonor them. Verses 22.
For the son who dishonors and offends his father and mother, God ponders his death and his misfortune.
The Most High is making or working out a plan to destroy you and to give you misfortune, not prosperity. Verses 24.
Honor your father in the proper way.
In the proper way. That's the way that the fathers have set up. Read on.
Do not despise your friends, and do not dishonor those who honor you.
So there is an order of things that the Most High has set that we need to keep in mind. Verses 27.
If your son grows out of his boyhood as one who is humble and wise, teach him the book of wisdom.
When your son is no longer a little child, and he is humble and wise, humility and have the understanding to apply that. Give him the book of wisdom, how to live. This is why Yeshua says, don't cast your pearls before what? Swine. Otherwise you'll rend and come after you and tear you up. Verses 30.
For the book is good to learn wisdom from. Wisdom is bright eyes and an excellent tongue. Eyes that are bright will not be blinded, and a tongue that speaks wisely will not begin to stammer.
A tongue that speaks wisely will not begin to stammer, not be like blah 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 blah, gainsaying, double tongue, not consistent, in and out. Verses 34.
And if your son grows out of his boyhood as one who is brutish, crude, and insolent,
disrespectful, disrespectful child, read,
one who is thievish,
Uh-huh.
deceitful, and provocative.
likes to start trouble, read,
Teach him the profession of gladiator.
put a sword in his hand and put him out there so he can learn how to fight in the arena, because that's the type of spirit he has, a destructive spirit. So give him a sword. Read on.
And put into his hand a sword and a dagger,
Uh-huh.
and pray for him, that he shall die, shall be killed immediately,
And be killed immediately. Go ahead.
lest by his living on
If he continues to live,
you should grow old
Uh-huh.
through his frauds and expenses.
you should grow old through his frauds and expenses. So you'll have a son who'll go out and be a thug on the street, a bum, or one that doesn't know to respect life. So everything that he does is like a thief, cutting corners, stealing, not learning value of life. And he goes out and get a job and he's stealing, or he's doing crooked stuff, or making shortcuts, or making compromises, or anything that will destroy life, respect, loyalty, you name it, Mishpachah. A very dishonest child, because you're going to find yourself living under the roof of a dishonest child. Your heart will be nothing but grief. Every oatmeal that your son provides for you is through thievery. The shelter that's over your head as an older person, how did your son give you that shelter? How is he paying the bills, or she paying the bills? Read on, verses 43.
While he does not produce anything good for you,
Uh-huh.
every bad son should die and not live on.
Every bad son should die and not live on.
Hateful is the custom of lying down at an improper time.
Hateful is the custom of sleeping at the wrong time. How do we have this problem? The whole computerized system is messing us up. Lights are always on in our eyes. Our bodies are not designed like that. Everybody's texting you from all around the world. You know, there was a time when to make a phone call around the world was very expensive. So you wouldn't call that person. Like, if I call this person, my bill is going to be $300 for 5 minutes. Now you got WhatsApp, chat this, chat that, all kinds of stuff. So you can't even sleep. Beep, bing. If you turn off the phone, you're going to miss something out. That person in another part of the world want to talk to you when you're supposed to be sleeping. And when they're supposed to be sleeping, you want to reach out to them. This is madness. Hateful is the custom of lying down at a what? Improper time. Verses 68.
Sleep carries us into Sheol.
What is Sheol again? Sleep carries us into hell.
Dreams unite us with the dead.
Uh-huh.
Hateful is laziness. It is hungry and thirsty, naked and lamenting.
Hateful is laziness. Laziness is not a good thing. It is hungry and thirsty, naked and lamenting. That's what comes out from laziness. Always online, always online. It doesn't produce anything that is good. If the system shuts down, what do you do with your life? Your whole world was inside of a box, a screen. Verses 72.
How comely and praiseworthy is industry.
How comely and praiseworthy is working with your hands. Working, using your skills, thinking, trying to figure things out and applying that into something. That's comely and that's also praiseworthy. I remember when I was little, I used to see those ships in a bottle, a whole ship in a bottle. And you're like, wait a minute, how did they get that thing inside that little? That's the world that we live today. Most people's lives are like a ship in a bottle. How do you live your life in that bottle? How do you find your whole world is in that bottle? A whole ship is in a bottle? Let's read verses 73. Let's read 72 again.
How comely and praiseworthy is industry.
Uh-huh.
At all times it is a filled stomach and a bright face.
It brings joy to you when you work a hard day's work and you sit down at your meal, you feel good. Your body feels good. You sleep good. But if you sit behind a computer all day, you're restless. You can't even sleep because your body is not going through. The engine hasn't worked at all for the day. It's only your brain just working. Your body hasn't worked. Your muscles hasn't worked. And your body doesn't know what to do with the rest of it. It's like only the head is working. The body's like a jello sitting there on the couch all the time. It's like, I'm useless. So if I'm useless, if my body's useless, I have no value. If I have no value, just throw me away. My muscles don't need to work anymore. My heart doesn't need to work anymore. So therefore my heart becomes useless, weak. Go ahead and read.
Even if one does not have success, he will not be blamed.
You see that? Even if you're not successful trying to be industrious, nobody's going to blame you and say you're a bum, because at least you tried something for the day. You try to build a house, you try to work, be constructive, trying to be industrious with yourself. If you're not successful trying to build a business in your business building, nobody's going to be upset at you. They're going to see you as a hardworking, not a lazy person. When they come to your house, even if things is not so good, they can say, he's trying, at least he's trying. He's trying his best to do something. Okay, so they're not going to blame you. Read on.
Do not be quarrelsome. Do not stretch out your hand against one older than you.
It says, don't be quarrelsome. Don't be argumentative. Every time you want to argue, when they say, shut down the computer, shut it down. You're spending too much time in that thing. Shut it down. Take a break. Do something else with your life. We're not saying not to use the computer, but have balance in your life. Don't let the computer use you. Don't quarrel. Do not stretch out your hand against one older than you, because that one is trying to save you. Now they have this system with virtual reality. Now you can strap on the glasses and you can walk around like a blind person, like this, walking around. And you're thinking you're going somewhere and you're not going anywhere. Your whole world is in your head. Soon they're going to have that with diodes. They're going to put a bunch of stuff all in your chest, your back, all your sensory glands is going to be connected to the glasses. And whatever you see, you're going to feel it, a little zap here and there. Soon you're going to find yourself in a glass tube. There's no use for your eyes anymore, because now the system is using wireless technology to tap into your senses. So there's no need for your eyes because your eyes are burnt out. There's no need for your arms because it's useless. You just have to just twitch, like a jello, like that movie, The Matrix. It's like The Matrix. You're in a tube and everybody's into a tube. We're living in virtual reality. You choose the world that you want to live in. You can be whoever you want to be in that virtual world. Is that what you want? That's the world that the people are designing for us. We're going to come back to Proverbs in a moment, but let's go to our next reading. 94.
More than everything, love your father.
Uh-huh.
You shall fear him and honor him.
Love your daddy. Fear him and honor him. Read on.
And do not dishonor your mother.
Don't despise and dishonor your mother. Mama loves you and cares for you. Verses 97.
For 10 months long she bore you in her womb.
For a long time she carried you in her belly. Read.
And when she gave birth to you, she was at the point of death.
When she gave birth to you, that was a point of time when she was almost dead. You don't know the amount of pain that she had to go through to bring you into the world. And now you are here, you become the smartest guy in the whole world. Face is twisted. I know this. Let's read verses 99.
Do not laugh at the words of the aged. Do not curl your lips in scorn at the aged.
Call it screw face. Do not curl your lips in scorn at the age. Lips are all twisted up. always got something to say. Verses 297. Let's read that part.
Keep a boy away from evil things. The school keeps one from death, far from death.
The school instruction keeps one far from death. 299.
Handicraft delivers one from misfortune.
Handicraft. In other words, you sit there and you carve something, you do something, you make something, you fix an engine, learn how to fix brakes. Whether it's a woman or a man, learn to do something constructive with your life. You don't see 299? Can you see the screen? The screen is messed up again. Okay. You know, I tell you, listen, you know that when we're teaching, but normally we don't have these problems, right? But whenever we go on a particular topic that is so important, all of a sudden, I told you all the first time when I did this class, half of the thing was dead. I told you all, I'm not, see what my hands is? Okay. Keep a boy away from evil things. The school keeps one far from death. Handicraft delivers one from misfortune. It's good that when you see your children sit down and build something, create something, work, it makes you a better person. The computer system is a demonic system. Let's go to our next slide, and let me know if y'all can see it before we read. Can y'all see this slide? Can y'all see it? All right.
Be energetic in your youth.
Uh-huh.
As long as your eye can see and your foot can walk, as long as your strength is great.
As long as you have strength, go out and use the body that the Most High has given you. Your limbs. Be interactive. Go out, bounce a ball, do something. Walk. Something constructive. Be energetic. As long as you have your youth, your vitality, keep your body moving. Verses 380.
But when you have become aged and weary,
when you become retired, go ahead.
Sit down and live on your possessions.
Now you can start playing your games. Now you can start doing a little something, but not when you're young. That's the time you need to use your body. But when you're trying to use your arms and your arms are not able to do as much as before, then you can sit back and relax a little bit. But don't tell me that you're a young person and you want to act like an old person, like you're stuck to a wheelchair. You're stuck to a sofa. You can't stand up because your legs is weak from watching too much TV or computers or whatever it is. Come on now.
And comely is youth,
when
the young man is energetic and when he is successful through his strength.
It's a beautiful thing when you have the strength within your body. Mishpachah, that's what the Most High wants for us. They used to have something called vocational education in school. I know they probably still have it. Machine shop, woodworking classes, home economics where you can go and learn how to sew and cook and different things like that. These are real jobs. But the demonic system is telling you, if you want to make six figures, those jobs that you're doing in vocational school is only going to get you a McDonald's work or working for fixing little cars here and there. But if you want to be to the top Fortune 500 company, you need to learn all these technologies and stuff. And you sit down behind a screen crunching numbers all day. That is not the world that our King built for us. When he made Adam and Eve, Adam was to live forever, and so was Eve. But what did he do? What was the first thing he did? He put them in a garden and gave them real work to do. The garden wasn't just going to grow by itself. You got to go and till the soil, trim some stuff, pick some fruit. You're going to work, you're going to trim, you're going to keep your body energetic. It's not just, boom, I got this body and my muscles is not going to work. Has to do no workouts and nothing. You had to work. You had to have some movement in your body. And this system is making the chairs more cushier, more comfortable. No, you need one of those old school benches. Like back in the day in church, They had those hard wooden benches. When you sit in that thing, your behind was hard. And you got to sit on that thing for hours. That's what the children need today. Now they have, oh, my back hurting me. Can I have a special chair? No. I need this $200, $250 chair because my back. No, get up off your behind and go do something. Oh, can I buy this little fridge? It's only $50 on sale. No, you don't need a little fridge for your room. Get up off your behind and go cook something. Go in the fridge. Go make something for yourself. Back in the day, you had to grind coffee. Now it's like you just buy the stuff, throw it in there. You buy the little packets. You put the time on. If I want coffee at the time, let me see, I want coffee so I can program it. I got an app for my coffee machine. I got an app to get food. Let's get Proverbs 6. We're going to read 6 to 8, and we're going to wrap it up.
Go to the ant, thou sluggard.
Tell you what, let's read from verses 3. Okay, let's read from there.
Do this now, my son, and deliver thyself when thou art come into the hand of thy friend. Go humble thyself and make sure thy friend.
I want the children who are listening, the younger ones, to pay close attention. Verses 4.
Give not sleep to thine eyes, nor slumber to thy eyelids.
It's talking about the Torah, paying attention to the Torah and the ways of life.
Deliver thyself as a roe from the hand of the hunter, and as a bird from the hand of the fowler.
We saw how demon has a pitchfork, or forks the children, right? The child. That is a hunter. Esau is a what? A hunter. His system hunts souls. He is the red one. The red one, whose headquarters was in Seir. Seir means what? Hairy goat or a devil. A devil. Verses 6, read.
Go to the ant, thou sluggard, consider her ways and be wise.
Go to the ant and consider her ways, you lazy person, and be wise, read.
Which having no guide, overseer, or ruler.
And this is an embarrassment because, you know, the ant doesn't have anyone who gives them a whole lecture and education, sit down and learn how to do this and how to get food and how to work. And no, we have to go through that. Okay, read on.
Which having no guide, overseer, nor ruler, provideth her meat in the summer, and gathereth her food in the harvest.
She works hard because she understands if I don't work hard, I am not going to eat. If I don't eat, I'm going to die. This is Proverbs chapter 6, and we are in verses 9. Just read 8. Now that's all we need from that. Well, actually, let's read 9.
How long wilt thou sleep, O sluggard?
How long are you going to be lazy, sluggard?
When wilt thou arise out of thy sleep?
When are you going to get out of your bed? Go ahead.
Yet a little sleep and a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to sleep. So shall thy poverty come as one that travaileth, and thy want as an armed man.
So shall your poverty come. This system that we see right now, that is being created right now, is to get rid of certain people's workers in this society. I don't know if you all realize it. Every time they make automations, they need less people to work at all. Drones don't need human beings as much, that many people. Just need one thing, you program it, and it'll automatically go out and deliver stuff to people. If you don't need people to work anymore, that's jobs that's eliminated. The more technology that there is, the less people that you need. And if you don't need people, then you're going to start to see implementations of removal of people from society, Mishpachah. This is going back to the Georgia Guidestones of reducing the population. And who do you think they're going to reduce first from the population? Who do you think they always experiment on first in the population? Our people. You see, we were brought here to serve these nations. And after they have come onto the Industrial Revolution, they no longer needed slaves as much. They needed doorkeepers because you can't have a 5,000 pound or a 5-ton machine opening a door for someone. You need a Negro to open up the door with gloves, white gloves, and to pour some lemonade for those delicate works. But as far as going into the fields and reaping cotton, bales of cotton, and all that stuff, you need machines for that. So when they came up with these machines, they no longer needed us to do those field work anymore. And every time they have a revolution, the less they need us. And then they set these laws, Jim Crow and Jim Vulture and Jim whatever it is that they set up to pick our people and to destroy our peoples. The more systems, the more technology, the less they need us. Brothers and sisters, if you look at a lot of these shows that they put out, and I know some Hebrews say, well, brother, you keep talking about these shows. Listen, if the watchmen don't see what's going on, how are you to understand what's happening? A lot of these shows show a people who are running underground, living in slums, away from the technology. They become the hunted in a new world order. And the system will have you pay in cups to analyze if you are genetically pure. There's no cancerous DNA, because a lot of our people want to throw our DNA or spit or hair samples into that DNA stuff, thinking that it's going to help us. If you think it's going to help you, it's a database gathering information so they can know who you are, where you are located, so they can regulate or control us. The census, all of these things are working together. All of these things are all part of an information gathering system. Information gathering system, Mishpachah. That's what this thing is all about. And so we need to prepare ourselves for what is coming. If we don't prepare ourselves, we're going to find ourselves in big trouble. So I hope that this class has helped us gain some understanding. And I'm just going to keep it going until the Most High said, hey, brother, time for you to come into the ark. Just going to keep it going until then. So, Mishpachah, brothers and sisters, I'm just sharing with you a few of the things that exist behind the scenes. And I'm doing this out of love for each and every one of you. I know for us parents, we look at our little babies and we only wish the best for our babies. And we want to give them things, technologies to help them to be more successful in this world. But during the time of doing this thing, Meshpachah, we ourselves, myself included, didn't know of the traps, the origins. We didn't know what was planned, what has been planned for our people. We didn't know. And now that we see what is happening, the Most High has opened our eyes to see we have to make some changes. We cannot get rid of these systems, but we can control what we use because we have the ability with our hands, our minds, our eyes. We have the strength in our body to apply some self-control. So my younger brothers and sisters, those of you who are always on these things, step back a little bit. Go do something. If you spend 3 hours on that, go do 3 hours on something else. Keep a journal. I spent 10 hours in this thing. I need to spend 10 hours on something else. Don't spend 10 hours a day on one thing. Break up your time. Go do something else. Move around. Right? If you have friends coming over, go outside and run around a little bit. Go climb a tree. Go kick a rock or something. Do some hopscotch or whatever it is. Some of those games that we used to play back in the day. Go, do something. Go play hide and seek. Run around a little bit, have some joy, laugh a little bit, sweat, you know. And for you older ones, don't sit around rocking and cheer. Go out and do something too. And with that said, I pray that the Most High bless and keep you all as we travel on this road to Zion. So let me get Elder in the room to close out. Shalom, shalom, Elder. Shalom, Elder. Where are you, Elder? I think you're. It looks like the system doesn't want you to speak, Elder. You want to unmute your microphone. Uh-oh. So I spoke to Elder earlier today, and he says the computer was acting up. It seems like the system was prepared itself to give us prompts today, but we're going to get this thing done right, one way or the other. Well, since I can't get Elder Mishpachah, let me go ahead and close out with a word of prayer and ask our King to bless us and keep us as we travel on this road to Zion. Let's pray, Mishpachah. Father, we give all praise and glory unto your name. We thank you for your love and your mercy, which truly endures forever. Bless Elder, Father, as you know, he is always making himself available to pray, but the enemy tries to withhold him. I pray that you will send your angels around him to break that demon, an evil spirit that tries to prevent him from speaking and giving a blessing on a mishpachah. Bless Israel, Father. Protect us from the onslaught of these technologies and help us to spend more time with our families and to do things that is interactive and spend time away from these systems and to do things that is lively according to your way. Protect your people, especially our little ones. Help them to love their parents, to respect their elders, and to do what is right. And help them to remember that they too will become elders one day. Bless the house of Israel. Father, we pray that you will make the time short and that you will deliver us from this captivity. Bless all our brothers and sisters, whether they are in camps or out of camps. Remember those teachers of Israel, wherever they are, protect and keep them, and let them be true to your word, now and forevermore. Father, we love you, we thank you. In your name we pray, in Yeshua's name. Amen. Hallelujah. Brothers and sisters, love you all. Stay strong, stay sharp. May the Most High be with you all and keep you, and hope to see you all on this road to Zion. I say Laila Tov. Blessings to the house of Israel. Laila Tov Mishpachah, Laila Tov.
Distant travelers, traveling, seeking peace from their sorrow and ease from the pain, and they got nowhere to go.